Customs officers have adopted a female dog after a boat on which it was traveling was impounded. The owner of the boat, which happens to be the dog's master, as well as crew members of the vessel, were arrested on drug charges. Here is DBS's Don Nicholas with that story.
Believe it or not, this dog called Japan has been on this boat since January, not venturing anywhere else. But it doesn't take a rocket scientist to figure out how it feels about this man. Out of the goodness of his heart, Lloyd, Eugene and other officers have been caring for the animal ever since the boat and its owner were impounded in January. Being a humble man by nature and one who shies away from the spotlight, Eugene declined an on-camera interview. However, animal protection authorities were able to coax him into accepting these certificates on behalf of himself and his colleagues. In fact, one of the colleagues decided to speak on behalf of the group.
Early morning around 6 a.m. in the morning to until sometimes we're going back around to 12 o'clock and then 6 p.m. Yeah, to put that, yeah. It's really good. Like if we tell customers, like if they can just give us the dog and they also bring the dog at our home and then to feed the dog. For so long the boat is there and over 6 months, between 2 to 7 months. Right now that's now is month end. That's now in September already, and then that is really bad sometimes.
It obviously took a great deal of dedication and commitment on the part of the group who shared the responsibility of caring for the animal. Not even vacation could stop this customs officer from caring for the responsibility. The dog is a perfect example of loyalty and integrity. She's been on this boat since January and she's not prepared to go anywhere. And the customs officers who've been taking care of her ever since ought to be commended for their dedication and commitment. For one thing, this development shows that there's a softer side to the Customs Department. For the DBS News World, I am Don Nicholas reporting.
Meanwhile, SLAPS, the St. Lucia Animal Protection Society, has showered praise on the customs officers involved for taking care of the animal. DBS's Jason Hollandseed has more.
Jolene Hammerson, an animal protection official, says when she first came near the boat, she was stopped in her tracks by the dog, which goes by the name of Japan. She says she was intimidated by Japan's stern disposition, as if it wanted to demand her ID card before allowing her to come any further. This, as she has showered praise on the customs officers, whose dedication and commitment has not gone unrewarded. The certificate recipients have been afforded membership of the Animal Protection Society for life.
We were so happy to see just how much good care these customs officers, entirely out of the goodness of their own heart, have taken with this dog. Dog's called Japan apparently. Now what we would really like to see, quarantine normally is 6 months. The dog's had his own private quarantine on board of that ship with customs officers checking on him every day, so they can't say that he was illegally brought on board, or on shore rather. So what we would really like to see is perhaps if there's a way that the authorities can release the animal into the care of, perhaps we were hoping maybe that same customs officer that really liked him, Mr. Eugene. But in the meantime, we would like to hand over, at least show a token of our appreciation as the Animal Protection Society for the good work that these customs officers have done in Vieux-Fort, and we're really proud of them.
Most security guards operate on a shift system, but Japan has been working in the post unchanged for the past 7 months, and animal protection officials think it's time for vacation. The authorities are therefore working on releasing the animal. The president of the society echoed the sentiments of her colleague. She was touched by the gesture and highlighted the need for more citizens to follow the example of the customs officers, who've demonstrated just how animals should be treated.
When somebody goes over and above, or we feel that they should have a little recognition, we like to give them a free honorary membership in SLAPS, which means they are a member for life, and they'll receive our newsletters and hopefully become a little more involved in our organization. And it's just something we like to do to thank people basically for going a little over and above what the average person would do.
The veterinarian department have already given the green light for the release of the animal, and its owner, not knowing what the outcome of his case will be, has agreed that the animal should be adopted. For the DBS News World, Jason Hollandseed reporting.
Prime Minister Stephen